Chris, how are you guys physically and mindset-wise heading into this Michigan game?
I think we're good. Even though we had a really disappointing loss on Saturday, I thought our guys were encouraged. It was the best we'd played probably in 5 or 6 games, in terms of thought we were really connected on the road, showed tremendous poise, came back from a huge run they threw on us in the first half, played really well in the second half, just didn't finish the game. So I think we were really upset about that, disappointed. But, I think we were encouraged by kind of I thought we got a little bit of our mojo back. And our guys they're excited. I mean, we talked about it after the game. You have this long season and you have great wins, you have tough losses, and at the end of the day, if you would have asked any of us on the first team meeting, if you would have said in the locker room, we're gonna transport you to March 1st, you're gonna be 20-9, 9-7 in the league with 2 home games. Who's signing up for it? I think a lot of hands would have been raised. So through all the ups and downs, positive, negative, that's where we are. We are where we are. We got a great opportunity tomorrow against Michigan, who's playing really well. I know our guys are excited to continue to keep fighting, and got to figure out a way to try to get a win.
Do you think at all of this tournament talk that just won't go away has weighed on them?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, how could it not? I mean, it's in today's day and age, like they're not with social media and their phone. I mean, that's the world that all of them and us live in. So you're not going to be able to avoid that. I mean, it is what it is. And when you're trying to do something good, there is going to be some pressure that is involved with it. So, we try to minimize that as much as possible. We try to stay focused on what we're doing. We try to just keep fighting, keep grinding every game. But of course, it's on their minds. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, they don't think about it, or people don't, they see it everywhere they go. So it's certainly, especially this time of year, it's the main talk of our country, which is great. It's exciting. And I think the thing that we've always talked about when we first started 4 years ago is we want to be in positions like this where you're playing games in March that matter. We haven't been, my first 3 years, we haven't had that opportunity where you have to play games where you have to win. I mean, it's what good teams and good programs have. And so this is great for us. And having some veteran guys, I think they're excited. I think they're looking forward to it. And I don't know what the results are going to be, but I know we're going to fight. I know we're going to play hard, and we'll see what happens.
I know you're focused on Michigan, but you have to be doing the math and all that. How much do you think you really need one more?
Yeah.
Control your own destiny?
Yeah, I really don't know, because look, in committees, like all that, like you can't control that stuff. I mean, I'll talk about it more like when our full resume is on the table. There's more games to be played. There's more games to win or lose, and really, all it does is waste energy if I'm looking at all the bracketology, and because right now it just doesn't really matter. I mean, there's so many more games to be played all over the country, not just us, but with a lot of teams and conference tournaments. So, I mean, I'll address all that stuff at the end of the year when our full resume is on the table, but I don't know the answer to that. I mean, all we can do is control what we can control, and that's to win. And if you win enough, I tell the guys all the time, you get what you deserve at the end. They have a bunch of resumes on the table, and there's smart guys in the room, and they decide which teams they think are deserving to keep playing. And we want to put ourselves in that position with these last couple weeks.
Do you think your players are paying more attention to that than you are, and is that weighing on them, making them nervous at all?
I don't think we played nervous the other night. I really don't. I thought we played pretty well actually the other night. I didn't sense we played tight. So, I mean, you can ask those guys. I don't sense that. Do they feel some pressure? Of course they do. I mean, we all do. I mean, that's part of doing this. I mean, you're going to feel some pressure. I mean, in life, it's about pressure. I mean, we all have jobs. We have pressure to put food on our table for the kids and do things like that. So if you want to be good, there's going to be some pressure, and you got to be tough, and you got to go out there and get the job done. So.
Are you guys tied? Go ahead, Sid.
Yeah.
You always talk about how you have to experience things before as part of the
Yeah,
process.
yeah.
So them experiencing this pressure for
Yeah,
the first time.
sure.
is
No,
a-
it's new. It's new, and whenever you're trying to cross bridges or get over the hump, you have to go through it for that first time, and you got to be really tough-minded, and you got to be together, and you got to cross that bridge as a unit. And there's going to be adversity along the way. I mean, nothing that's worth anything is going to be easy. I mean, we talk about that all the time. It's not easy. If it was easy, then it would have been done here before many a times. So it's hard to do the things we're trying to do. Our guys are working really hard. They're preparing well. We're playing hard, and we got great opportunities. Like we said, I mean, as disappointing as Saturday was the other night, because we felt we had the game in control, at the end of the day, we woke up on Sunday and we were still playing. So we still control our own destiny. We still control what we can control, and that's playing Michigan tomorrow.
Are you guys worn down at all? I mean, especially Vic, obviously his numbers last few weeks have not been the same.
Yeah, I think the loss of Scotty affected Vic. You know, I definitely think that was the case. You know, when we had both of those guys playing well, it was hard because they were both producing. It was hard to put a lot of attention on one or the other. And then with McIntosh, and so I think hopefully now that Scotty's starting to get back to form, I thought he played as well as he's played, you know, since he's been back from being sick on Saturday night. The more we can get him going, I think it helps Vic. And you know, there's no question Vic's been struggling a little bit with his scoring, with his shooting. And we got to find a way to get him some easy buckets, you know, whether it be in transition, get him in the post a little bit, get him fouled, get to the free throw line, so he's not just relying on shooting jump shots. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's getting better. You know, a lot of times, and you guys know this, I mean, I say it on, I know you guys work out a lot. Like, if you have a spell where you go on vacation or you don't do anything for 3 weeks, that first week back working out is not fun. You know, you're out of shape, you're sore, you're tired, your heart and your mind are in the right place, but you're just not in the condition yet. So, you know, for him, he wasn't allowed to do anything for 3 weeks. So, you know, it's been a process day by day of continuing to work, get your conditioning back, get your timing back. And I was really encouraged by what he was able to do on Saturday night. I thought he was a little bit quicker. He had a little bit more explosiveness. I thought, you know, with some of his shots, some of his timings coming back, and, you know, hopefully that'll be a good sign for these last couple weeks.
What kind of atmosphere do you expect here over the next couple games?
I hope great. You know, we need it, and it's been great. You know, and these are the last 2 games in this building, so it's a unique position. We're playing well. We're in a good spot. You know, we got 2 really good opponents coming in. I would hope that the students would want to come out and kind of push us over the top. I know they're expecting sellouts, and the crowds have been a big boost to us, especially during the conference season. So we're gonna need all the support we can get.
Michigan has some explosive guards,
Yeah.
wings on the perimeter. What's the key for you guys to slow them down?
Well, I mean, obviously their 3-point shooting. You know, when they're at their best, you know, because they can shoot from all 5 positions. Even their big guys can hit threes. They spread you out. They got one of the best point guards in the conference in Derek Walton. They have veteran guys. You know, they're not playing any freshmen. You know, they're all vets that have been doing this a long time, and they feel a sense of urgency just like we do. So I think you got 2 teams that are playing really hard, you know, with knowing what's at stake this time of year in conference standings for postseason, all those things. So we have to do a good job of identifying the 3-point shooters, trying to take that away as best as we can. And it's easier said than done, though. They're a really good offensive team.
Do you see Vic guarding Walton?
At times, you know, I think he will, as we've done that with other teams. I mean, they just put you in a tough position because they have a lot of guys who can play. You know, Zach Irvin's really good as a wing, Rockman. So he'll be on a combination of all those guys, but I definitely think you'll see times where he's on Walton for sure.
Coach, if you look at the shots in conference play, the team is shooting way better from the right side of the floor than the left side. Do you know why that is the case?
I do not. But I've seen the same analytics, and it's interesting to me. I couldn't put my finger on it, you know, why that's the case. And it's amazing we can have all these numbers that tell things, but sometimes I don't have a good answer for it. I'd love to come up with something clever, but I'm not too sure. But hopefully we'll start shooting better from the left side the last couple weeks.
Coach, you talked about dealing with pressure. Are you doing anything different to keep them loose?
Not really. I think, you know, I think normal is more routine. You know, I think you can stay in the normalcy of how you prepare and how you get ready. You know, we have a good time, you know, you guys know, I mean, these are great guys. I mean, as much as I get mad at them sometimes for what they do or don't do on the floor, these guys are giving me everything they got. I mean, I can't, as a coach, I can't ask anything more than that. They come every day. They prepare, they lock into game plans, they're a really together team. All they want to do is win. So from that point of view, this has been a really fun team to coach, and you know, they've led each other. You know, I step in from time to time and there's things I have to say, but for the most part, they've been on each other, they've talked about the right things, they've said, things that great leadership does. I got some good older guys that have been really good, been through a lot of years here, ups, downs, and look, if we don't win, it's not going to be because these guys don't give it their all and don't prepare. It's going to be because you just lose sometimes. It's the other teams you play are good. So it's not going to be about the pressure. It's not going to be about any of that. It's going to be, can we go out there and can we execute and can we beat a good team for 40 minutes? Because that's what it's going to take.
This place is going to shut down after Sunday for a year and a half. What is your, so far, all-time highlight at Welsh Ryan?
It's a good question. Obviously my first conference win in here, was very special in year one when I think we beat Illinois. The game against Michigan when Trey Demps, was a special night when we had, both teams were throwing shots in from all over the place, and the double OT game. We've had some good ones. It's, I think my most special thing though is this year, just seeing the atmosphere that I always dreamed of in here. I'm not really one game, but just walking out here now and walking on the floor and really feeling like I'm at a big time college basketball game, and that's something that I envisioned. It's something I dreamed about when I took the job. So to see that come to fruition to me is something, and hopefully the new building will be even louder and even better, which we're excited about.
Obviously, the leadership,
Yeah.
pressures, and trying to get something done that hasn't been done. Bear with me here. It's a bit
Okay.
of a stretch, but who then is your leader that's going to give this Jason Hayward type speech, since you've also drawn connections to the Cubs and all that?
Yeah, well, I hope we have a successful speech like Hayward had. But, I mean, our main leaders are Lumpkin and McIntosh. They're our captains. And that's not to diminish the other guys because everyone has a voice. But usually when something needs to be said, those guys are at the forefront of it. And again, they've been really good through this time. That's why I was really disappointed, because coming off the game against Illinois where we just didn't play very well. For us to rally the way we did and go on the road and play as well as we did in Bloomington, that was real disappointing because our guys knew we played well enough to win. We just let it slip away. So I'm hoping we can continue to build on that performance and put 40 minutes together instead of 33. I mean, it's crazy. You think about the other night, for a 7-minute stretch, they outscored us 30-0. The other 33 minutes of the game, we won by 29 points. So, I mean, it's crazy how that worked out, but that's basketball, and it's now what's ahead of us with Michigan. But those two guys have really led us well. The other guys have followed them, have chipped in, and again, these guys give me everything they got. I got no problem with where we're at as a team with attitude or chemistry or any of that stuff. We just have to play well.
Obviously, you're not on the committee, but you look at one of these next 2 games as a win, and
Yeah, I can't. Again, I can't. I'm sorry about hitting your phone. I can't answer that question because I don't study. I don't have enough time to sit there and study everybody's resumes and who's won what and who's RPIs and BPIs and Ken Pong and all that stuff. I really don't know where it stands. All I know is we got to just keep winning. We got to win. And if you win and you get your 10th league win in a team in the league like the Big Ten with 5 true road wins during that time, I think you've had a pretty good year. And we had a really good non-conference, played a good schedule, beat some good teams. So we've put ourselves in position. Now you got to finish the deal here these last 2 weeks.